Well, hey church, and welcome to our annual Heart of Impact presentation. Heart of Impact is our global mission focus as a church, our local and global community projects that bring justice, aid and love to our world. In Luke 10, in the Bible, we read about the Good Samaritan. It's a very well-known passage that continues to show us how Jesus wants us to love our world. In this passage, a man was beaten and he was left for dead in a ditch by the side of the road. It was unfair, it was abusive, and it was wrong. People who should have helped, they walked past. People who could have helped, they walked past. There were plenty of opportunities for help, but for some reason, these people ignored and even avoided the pain. But one man responded. We don't know his background or where he was going or what he was doing, but what we do know is that he stopped and he helped. The Bible says that this man was moved with compassion. He saw the need and he crossed the road and he helped the man. He took him to an inn and he paid for his full medical treatment. This man, he perceived the need, he crossed the road and he did all he could to help. It really is a picture, this parable, of what's happening all around us today. People experience and are experiencing pain and poverty. It's happening internationally and it's happening right here on our doorstep. And in the same way, it is unfair and it is wrong. And it will be said of us, we could have helped, we should have helped, or we did help. Heart of Impact is made up of 7 projects. We love these projects. We believe in them. These 7 projects are our collective way of helping people. It's our way together of crossing the road. It's our way together, church, of making a difference. And so for the next while, we want to share the stories with you. We want to show you where your giving has gone, what it's doing, and how lives are being impacted by your generosity. My prayer is that each one of us will be reminded about the mission of our church and the difference that we are making together.
Hi, Mick Ostini here. I head up Alpha, and what an amazing Heart of Impact program that it is. What I love about Alpha is seeing people get introduced to Christianity. We go on a journey for over 10 weeks and I love seeing people's relationships between each other, but most importantly between God grow. It's an anointed program. I love, just for an example, there's one guy in the program that just broke down in tears last week and just was so grateful for what God has given him, just in a simple thing of his family, his wife and his kids. And he just realized that God has given him that blessing. What an amazing story. What a great program.
I honestly didn't know much about Alpha before I signed up. I just wanted to learn a bit more about God and Jesus and everything. Like, I have so many questions still after coming to church for 6 months now. I first came to church because I was having a haircut and Josh mentioned that he was going to church and I questioned him about it. More than anything, I sort of just kept asking questions and like what it was like there. And yeah, he said that we had a young adults group there, so I tagged along with him to a young adults group and we watched the soccer and yeah, it just felt really good. So I started coming on a Sunday, and I did definitely struggle at first to understand what it was all about. It all seemed really, really faith-based. And I was sort of working that out, but through Alpha, they sort of taught that it's very historically accurate. There's a lot of evidence of these things happening and it's cross-referenced and backed up by historians really well. So I thought that was really interesting. And it's just been so good to meet people in church that, you know, I wouldn't even have time to meet on a Sunday because there's so much going on and so many people of different ages and backgrounds and different perspectives as well. Yeah, just the chats is probably my favorite part. If you're even a little bit interested in anyone else's perspective, or maybe you're new to the church, I think it's a really good thing for someone new.
The Alpha program is all about every person exploring faith in Jesus. Everyone's faith journey begins in a different way, and everyone's faith journey goes in a different way. And the Alpha course is a great way for everyone to engage in exploring faith in Jesus. Whether you've known Jesus for a long time or whether you're beginning your very first steps of curiously discovering God, the Alpha course is great for everyone. At the Alpha program, we share a meal together, watch a short talk, and engage in a conversation that is authentic, it's deep, and it's really, really honest. But what happens is, through the course, everyone's understanding and revelation of who Jesus is takes a step forward. The great thing is, everyone can be honest, everyone is safe, and it's a non-judgmental environment for everyone to explore. The Alpha program is amazing for both discovering Jesus for the first time or rediscovering Jesus again.
Hi, I'm Sonia, and I came to Tuggerah Impact Church about a year ago and was very keen to do the online chaplaincy course. However, I wasn't sure where that would lead me to be, but I did receive an email about an opportunity up at Lakes Beach, and I thought, oh, this might be really a good opportunity here to use my skills in the community. So I very bravely put my hand up and I said yes. So as a chaplain, yeah, it is about just being there, being available, being present, where you don't necessarily have to do anything, but you are just that safe person for people to look at. And I think it's wonderful that, you know, I can go into the community and just be myself. What I enjoy about being a chaplain in the surf club is really being able to touch base with the community and yeah, being that representation, I guess, of the love of God, and yeah, just being able to be with them in their highs and their lows and be available at every level of the club. I was recently asked to support a couple of the young guys up there as they had witnessed a tragedy at a nearby beach. Yeah, it was just again, a real privilege and honour to be called to ask to provide support for those two young guys. And if anyone was considering becoming a chaplain, I would say don't be scared. But yeah, like me, you never know what can open up. I heard them say that the chaplaincy course is anointed, and I really do believe that it is, because I'm living proof of that the course is anointed and actually makes way and paves way for those gifts to be used in the community.
Pastoral care is given in a church. We understand what it is and we understand how important it is. And this comfort and care to be available is so important. Chaplaincy is about providing that same pastoral care for our community. 2 years ago, we launched our chaplaincy project, and since then, we've trained over 85 of you chaplains who are now active in our gym, local sporting clubs, midweek activities, schools, surf clubs, and more. It is direct help where it's needed. Look, when I did the chaplaincy course, I continually thought, look, this is all the pastoral care, all the support that we experience and take for granted in a church family, but now it's being poured out in the community. We are working with Sports Chaplaincy Australia to provide more and more training. Church, I am so proud of you. Our chaplaincy project really is leading the way, and it's an incredible, powerful, and effective tool to bring hope to as many people as possible. And my hope is that more and more of you will be trained up and activated in our community to help people. Your giving means more people can be trained, and the course is expanded, giving even more opportunities to place chaplains in clubs and communities where they are needed the most. God never wants his church over here and the community over here. He wants us engaged, he wants us in relationship, and he wants us involved. Our community engagement project has two expressions. Number one, it's about our midweek programs. All of our campuses run midweek programs, things like Messy Monday, Mainly Music, Baby Connect, the list goes on, and all of these programs ultimately are about relationship. They are there to provide engagement, care, and comfort to as many people as possible. And our Heart of Impact Giving makes sure that all of these programs can be made available to every family, every person for free. The second aspect of our community engagement project is our relief fund. As our pastors, chaplains, staff, leaders are engaging in the community, they'll come across emergency moments, very special opportunity moments when people really need help. And having an established resource pool means that when things are needed, things can be given. Things like food vouchers, emergency accommodation, medical treatment. Having our relief fund means that we can respond straight away when it's needed most.
We love coming to music. It's been absolutely amazing for my two. And we've got so much support because when I come with the two of them on my own, everybody's so helpful. And it just feels like a family, really. It's been absolutely amazing. And every week I can see that the kids are getting learning more and joining in.
Baby Connect is a playgroup hosted by Impact Church in the West. It is a place where parents can come together with their kids and create meaningful relationships. I personally feel that my daughter has grown a lot. She's come out of her shell a lot more. She's happy to play with other children. She's happy to interact with other adults. It's really inspiring to see all the kids that start out being so shy bloom into these amazing little people.
Hello, my name is Daniel Nowak, and I and my wife and 4 kids moved to Gympie, Queensland last year. We moved from Atlanta, Georgia, where we were doing ministry, and originally from Adelaide. And we had found out about Impact Church through some friends. From the first Sunday where we went there, we felt at home. However, it was cut too short. And within a moment in September last year, my youngest, Murphy, was diagnosed with stage 4 neuroblastoma, one of the hardest childhood cancers there is. We've since relocated back to Adelaide, where he this week finishes his nearly 9 months of chemotherapy, and he's had 7 high doses of chemotherapy, and he is one of the bravest and strongest boys I know. But last September, our family was turned upside down. My wife and Murphy had to relocate to Brisbane for treatment instantly. We had to rent a home down there. We had all these unforeseen expenses, and Nat had to forego her employment to be a full-time carer for Murphy. And so in all of this, we were inundated with support from family and friends, from work, from near and far. But Impact Church, through the heart of Impact, they blessed us greatly to help support in the season of need for our family. The way that they supported through prayer, through practical means, offering do you need a car to transport back and forth? Do you need meals for your family? Do you need support getting to church for your kids? God's grace is unending. God's love is surrounding all of us, and we are so thankful for the army of people that are praying, that are interceding for him. And so thank you so much, Impact Church.
Hi church, Matt Nesville here, and today I'm honoured to be able to share with you all my experiences with Impact Online and how it's truly impacted my life. So I doubt anyone forgets the year that Impact Online became our regular church service when we were stuck at home, unable to leave the house. But I was living in Sydney at the time, and I had an opportunity to go overseas to Europe for my work as a footballer. And although super excited, I knew it was a big leap of faith, and I felt I could only do it if I knew God was in it. And throughout the process of trying to organise travel to get overseas, God definitely at times made a way where there seemed to be no way. So my faith journey was tested massively. I was genuinely in a situation where I wasn't just hoping for God to open doors, but I was fully reliant on Him directing my path. And having the Impact Online resource at my fingertips meant I never felt separated from my home church and the Impact family. I remember one time I was on quite a long bus trip through Spain, and lacking phone service, going through some pretty remote areas, I was still able to listen to the Impact podcast I'd downloaded to Spotify. And look, I met many people along that journey, some like-minded, some not so much. But the resource that Impact Online provided enabled me to have the confidence in making new connections whilst staying connected to the church wherever I went. So, after a successful year in Europe, I won the championship trophy with my team before returning back to Australia to sign with the club. And now based at the Impact Sunshine Coast campus, I know firsthand how vital the online tool is to reaching people.
Church, I really believe we're called to innovate what it is to bring church and Jesus to the digital space. It's so much more than just uploading some content from Sundays. It's about being intentional and purposeful, creative in delivering Jesus to that space. Birthed over the last couple of years, Impact Online continues to be such a blessing to our church and from our church. I know that so many of you have accessed Impact Online when you've been away, unable to attend. We've got people who've never attended one of our physical locations that Impact Online reaches and continues to be the way they receive ministry. Furthermore, Impact Online becomes the backbone of our brand new Impact gatherings, planting these communities in pubs and clubs and function rooms all over the place. Impact Online provides the resource to reach more people in more places at more times. The other aspect to our digital mission is our brand new podcast launched early in the year, I'm Talking. We've discussed politics and veteran life, parenting children on the autism spectrum, infertility and IVF. We're going to be talking about addiction, the good, the bad, the ugly of the digital space, so many things. But these conversations are authentic and the community are engaging. Impact Online and I'm Talking, they make up the very beginning stages of our digital mission, what it is to innovate how we take Jesus in the digital space to as many people as possible. We recognise and respect Indigenous people right across our nation, and we want to do all we can to be a part of the conversation around unity, empowerment and reconciliation. Over the last few years, we've sent multiple teams on outback trips that carry our heart to connect, to serve and to honour Indigenous communities. These teams have used sport as a way to connect and build relationships that then have evolved into ongoing opportunities to support these communities practically, but then also share the message of Jesus. We are excited that we have started to reach out to these outback communities, but honestly, church, there is so much more that we can do to serve, resource, and bless them.
Here we are in Wilcannia at St. Teresa's School with Rory, the principal, and Dave Deacon. And I just wanted to ask them, it's a real honour to be here. What sort of benefit is this sort of clinic for your kids?
Well, thank you for coming. It's really great for our children. There's not a lot of services out here sporting-wise for children in remote western New South Wales. The children really get a lot out of it. As you can see, they're really engaged and involved, and hopefully educates them. So a bit of gear they could take home and utilise themselves is only going to benefit them, get them moving, get them active, keep them healthy.
I'm Mick Ostini here from Heart of Impact. We're here all the way out at White Cliffs, and we're with Lavinia, who's the school principal here. Lavinia, what's it been like having the sports chaplains come out and support the school today?
Absolutely fantastic. It's an opportunity our kids don't normally get to have people out to do sporting particularly. So the fact that you guys have come out and the kids are engaged, had an opportunity to coach with soccer.
It's great. We've had a great day here. We just want to thank everyone for their support. Without your support, we can't run amazing programs like this. We're in a beautiful country town in the outback, and it's been a pleasure to be here.
Our partnership with Mercy Indonesia has been incredibly long-lasting. For over 15 years, we have partnered with Pastor Paulos and Malaysia and the whole Mercy Indonesia organisation. And honestly, church, over the years, what we've seen God do is absolutely incredible. In that time, through your giving, we have built 2 orphanages that today provide a home for 75 orphans, but have provided a home for hundreds of children. We support 3 church planters who in their villages are constantly preaching Jesus. A radio station we support continues to broadcast in a predominantly Muslim area. And this year, in September, we relaunch our mission trips for the first time since COVID. I encourage you to come and be a part of it. I say all of that to say this, that on all of those things that God has done, there is still so much more to do. We believe in Indonesia, believe in the people of Indonesia, and through Heart of Impact, we'll see God do great things.
Hi, my name is Meredith Marcos, and I've been part of Impact Church for a very long time, since 2001. And in 2011, there was an opportunity to go to Indonesia as we were doing the first medical mission to Indonesia. And being a registered nurse, I felt compelled to join the team. On the first day that we arrived in Soe, we were setting out for our very first clinic. And then suddenly there was some commotion that there was this little girl that they were bringing in. And the story was that this little girl, she was 4 years old. She had been with her grandparents because her parents had passed away another time. But then I think that week she was found all by herself because her grandparents were tragically killed and all of her family were killed and she was by herself. And so because of that trauma, she was mute. One of the doctors was holding her just to check up on her. And I just felt God said to me, this is the reason why you're in this trip, because of her. And so as soon as I saw Elda, I just felt like God was like, she's yours and you need to sponsor her. I just love the transformation that's happened over the years. She went from this very quiet, mute, unemotional little girl with seemed lifeless to this beautiful girl who has come out of her shell and has come to life and has started talking and started smiling. And then since then, we've seen her grow up into this beautiful young lady. This is all because of the help that we gave her through the orphanage, through Heart of Impact. And she was then able to be cared for physically, emotionally, and spiritually, with teaching her about God and in her schooling and education and health. And she's now, I think, a 15-year-old girl who's like flourishing.
I am Alda from Mercy Indonesia, and I want to tell you a little bit about my story. So I came from a little village in Soe. So one day, there are some villagers that come and look over my house, and they found me by myself alone in the house. So they decided to bring me to Mercy Indonesia. And I was really happy when I was coming to Mercy Indonesia in Soe. There are many sisters, there are many brothers that really love and care for me. And there are many parents that really support me, everything that I do. God really love all of orphanage kids in Indonesia. I want to say thank you for your support, for your sponsoring, for me and the others orphanages in Mercy Indonesia.
Paulus Wiratno from Mercy Indonesia. We are very grateful and thankful for your partnership with Mercy Indonesia, because through the years we have been support children from Mercy Home, church planting, and then radio ministry. And together we make bigger impact, broader impact, changing Indonesia. God bless you.
Well, hi there, I'm Danny Guglielmucci, and what an honour it is for me to take a moment to speak about Youth Alive. I heard you guys are supporting Youth Alive, and I remember the day it was born. In the mid-80s in Melbourne, we gathered together with youth leaders from around the nation, and in prayer, the Spirit of God hit us with a passion for the youth of our nation, and a genuine movement was born that I had the privilege in the South Australian chapter to see hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of young people find Jesus. But many of them went on to become youth leaders themselves. Many of them became pastors as well. And it was an ongoing thing that took place. It wasn't just an event. Any support you can give Youth Alive, you're supporting a move of God. And I want to tell you, I'll never forget how God started it. And I'm grateful it's continuing. Thank you for your support.
Youth Alive had a significant impact on my life growing up. In my teenage years, you're always taught in high school that you come from nothing and you're going nowhere. So the attitude was, let's just get smashed and hammered because there's no point to life. But Youth Alive would declare publicly, not privately or secretly, but publicly, that you do have a future, you do have a purpose, and there is hope. And I just remember that was something that was caught, something I could grab a hold of, that was declared there is a God and you are loved. And that made such a significant impact on my life.
Youth Alive is an amazing outreach for youth and young people everywhere. It's been a great influence in me and my faith walk and my relationship with God. It's a great way to learn about God, increase your understanding and knowledge of who He is and how much He loves you. It's great to connect with other people, to worship, to dance, to sing, to pray with other people. And with so many people from all around the state, it's a great place to forge connections. I've really loved every event I've had with Youth Alive, to worship with a big crowd of people that all have the same burning desire and passion for God.
Our new Heart of Impact project is Youth Alive, and I love Youth Alive. As a teenager, I went to Youth Alive events, was so inspired and encouraged for my future. As a youth pastor, I would take our youth ministry and see young people impacted for Jesus, for their futures. And now as a lead pastor, I look around and I see Youth Alive throughout the kingdom in Australia, seeing great things happen for young people. Young people are asking questions. There are so many influences happening on their lives that they need to know that they have a hope and they have a future in Jesus. And Youth Alive is leading the charge in providing events, spaces, and a message that young people have a hope in Jesus. Young people are our future. Young people are our church's future. And as a church, we need to sow into young people. And sowing into Youth Alive, I know, is good soil for our young people's future. So there you have it, church. I hope these stories inspire you and encourage you that your giving makes a difference. These 7 projects are together what we're going to be sowing into this year. And so now I ask you to pray, prepare, and partner. Pray as a person, in your marriage, as families, pray with your friends, but ask God to speak to you about how you can give. Next is to prepare your partnership offering. It can be a one-off gift, or it can be a regular partnership amount, or it can be both. Be intentional, and all I ask is that you be obedient to what God says to you. And then partner. On June 25, Partnership Sunday, we will all bring our partnership cards or fill in the digital version, but it will be a very significant day as we partner with the vision. Together, church, through Heart of Impact, we'll see the need, cross the road, and do all we can.